What's up, y'all? This is your girl Cotton. This is your Word on Wheels, the Sunday edition. I thank God for waking me up this morning in my right mind with a spirit of peace on me. I'm going to my daddy's church this morning to watch him bring the word. I don't know, it's just, when I'm going through some particularly hard moments, so when I just need my daddy. That's all. And he's an awesome preacher, word bringer. It's almost like me sitting there watching me talk to myself. The encouragement, the affirmation, all that. I need that. So I'm going to go visit my daddy at Believer's Hope. It's located on Gannon Lane. And if don't nobody else support you, your daddy do. And I just want to speak on a conversation that I had with a really good friend that really brought a lot of things to light. Sometimes when you talking to someone, you get a revelation for yourself. And I was talking to my friend, and he was like, "Well, Cotton, I'm not an atheist. I believe in God. I believe there's a higher power, but the religious part, I'm just not into the religious part." And I was scared to tell you because I know how you feel about Christianity and all that stuff. I said, "Bro, stop right there. And let me tell you something. I'm not religious at all. I'm not a robot at all. And, if somebody feel like they need structure by going and doing the same thing over and over again, practicing the same rituals, so be it. But my main concern is my relationship with God, which brings me to what I told him. And I said, who is God? We are God. And, a lot of people don't want to say that, oh, Lord, the Lord going to strike you down for saying that. No, once you start understanding that, that's when things start changing in your life. God breathed his life into each and every last one of us. We were made in his image. When you speak things over your life, you are talking to yourself. When you're praying, you are talking to yourself. Because you are God. I say this over and over again. It's like a raindrop. A raindrop is just a raindrop. But when it drops into the ocean, it becomes the ocean. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong with realizing that God is here. God is not there in the sky or surfing on the clouds. See, once you learn who you are, once you know yourself, then you will know God. That's what the whole thing is about. Once you learn who you truly are, that's when you start learning who God is. I can't tell nobody to do away with just being religious and doing the same thing over and over again and thinking it's making them more holier than anybody else when you don't even know yourself. It don't make no sense for you to know the whole Bible, but you don't know yourself. I tell you something, I don't know every scripture in the Bible. I never proclaimed to know every scripture in the Bible, but I know Cotton. I know myself because I know God. And I was healed from my illness because I realized that when I started speaking healing over myself, I started telling this to get in line with this. I started telling myself that I would not be sick. I started telling God that I did not want to be sick. And nowadays, some people are afraid to speak out about that. They want to stick to the script. You better not say, don't question God. Don't you say nothing. Don't go outside of what you've been taught in Baptist church all your life. Well, I'm sorry. God called me for something different. God called me to speak to people who are lost, who feel like I do, because there's so many people lost in the church because they just going. They just there and still don't know who they are. You need to sit down and evaluate who you are. Stop blaming everything on the devil. A lot of things that you're going through is a result of what you have done to yourself. You want to know who the enemy is? The enemy is that part inside of you, your flesh, who wants to take over. The enemy is the thing that's inside of you that hates everything good about you. So when things happen to trip you up, and when I speak about the enemy tried to stop me from doing something, when I speak about the enemy trying to kill me, I'm speaking about that thing that was inside of me that tried to kill me. That lupus that was inside of me, that was something that the enemy brought with him. And that's why I evicted that lupus out of my body. A lot of people don't want to say they're a Christian. I'm a proud Christian because I try to walk like Christ. I have no problem saying the name Jesus Christ. But let me tell you something. If you screaming Jesus Christ and hallelujah and speaking in tongues and all that stuff and you still don't know who you are, you're still lost. If you still going to church and just reciting everything because they told you to with no understanding, you still lost. When you study the Bible, when you read the Bible can't save you. The Bible is a guide. The Bible has parables and stories and instances to give you an example of how to persevere, how to love, how to forgive. But if you think reading the Bible every day gonna make you saved, when you're not living none of that stuff, when you're not practicing love, the biggest commandment of all, you wasting your time. You might well read an Ebony Jet magazine or something because you're wasting your time. I don't believe the Bible is 100% accurate. It can't be. Too many hands been on it. You got to chew the meat and spit out the bones. You have to pull from the Bible the things that really speak to your spirit and do away with all that other stuff. It's chapters in there talking about slaves, obey your master. Now, if you crazy enough to become a slave to somebody, that's on you. The Bible ain't telling you to do that. That's just like my book. My book is chronicling my life. My book is my autobiography, but my book does not detail every last single detail of my life. Everything in my book is true, but there's a whole lot missing. There's some gaps in my story to describe who I am and what I am. It's the same thing about the Bible. Y'all, you got to get out of that religious state of mind. Because when you stuck like that, when you stuck just being a mindless sheep and not knowing what's going on, but just doing everything because everybody else doing, playing Simon Says, you're going to stay lost. This has been your Word on Wheels. I might lose some friends. I don't know. I love y'all. I'm Miss Cotton. Bye.